We had a gas. We had a chicken. I'm out of patience. Yeah, but not that kind of gas, you potheads. Roll the intro.
I got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems I solve them. I run through the money, the pressure be calling. Left on my blessings, I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back, tell me I'm garbage. I'm going through something, that's why I ain't calling. Phone and progression, it's all that I wanted. The phone and affection, I summon and dub it. Cause I got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems I solve them. I run through the...
Welcome back to another episode of the Problems on Problems podcast. I'm your host, Mike Santi, and this week we're talking about the gas shortage. Yes, that gas shortage. By now, if you haven't heard, the Colonial Pipeline, which, for those of you that don't know, the Colonial Pipeline is the main petroleum artery for the East Coast, spanning, even southeast, spanning literally from Texas to New Jersey. And so it fell victim to a ransomware attack by a group known as DarkSide. The cyber attack happened to halt all operations, which led to a gas shortage basically everywhere. But North Carolina's been feeling it, y'all. And people have been losing their ever-loving minds. But before I tell you that, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe in the video. For those of you on the podcast, subscribe to the podcast on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Duh. Like, comment, and subscribe. You know the deal. So this pipeline, this whole big old line of pipe, after this hacking by this group called DarkSide, by the time you see this, it happened last week. And I just can't understand how people have literally lost their mind, to the point where our governor of North Carolina, Governor Roy Cooper, has issued a state of emergency, suspending motor vehicle regulations to allow for trucks to continue transporting fuel, so I don't know about you guys, but I didn't know there was a gas shortage, or there could be a gas shortage, until they told me there was going to be a gas shortage. That's just me. Like, I don't think anybody was panicking beforehand until you were told not to panic. And in which case, of course, you went and panicked. Like, what? Did we not learn anything at all from 2020? Because as soon as they mention any type of, as soon as news outlets and media started talking about this gas shortage, everyone lost their mind and started buying up gallons and gallons of gas. People started buying cans of gas. It's called a can of gas, right? I'm going to say it's a can. People started buying cans of gas from hardware stores, gas stations, and all this stuff, filling them up, which, do we, like, literally toilet paper 2020, toilet paper gate 2020 was legitimately a year ago. Under a year ago, where everyone was buying massive amounts of toilet paper because everyone thought the pandemic was going to shut you inside your house forever and that you wouldn't be able to wipe your own ass. And I just don't get it. Like, what's the deal with I just don't understand the panic buying part, where at a certain point in time, I don't know, you got to kind of figure out, like, yes, you want to be prepared for emergencies and stuff like that, whatever. Cool. If you genuinely think that you're going to need a full tank of gas before then, hopefully your life, before then being before the system comes back up, which by the time this episode comes out, I'm pretty sure it's been predicted or estimated that by the time this episode comes out, there will no longer be a suspension to the gas shortage. I'm not saying this episode's responsible for it. I'm just saying it's kind of coincidental. And so where was I going with that? Oh, the idea that, like, I would hope that by now you know your life enough that you could kind of determine whether or not you actually needed to get gas. Me in particular, I think I've got like a half tank of gas, a quarter tank of gas, something like that. And I don't really plan on going to any gas stations anytime soon, because on a half tank of gas, with a half tank of gas, I can get like 150 miles. And for me, who lives in the city, that, I don't know, walks 3 blocks to work, and even then it's once a week, the rest of the time I'm working from home and working remotely, I don't really need to go anywhere. So I'm going to chill here, not get any gas. But there are people that are like, they're essential workers that are out here that need gas to literally drive to and from their place of work to their place of shelter, their home. And all y'all are fucking it up. Y'all being the panic buyers, the ones that don't watch this episode at all, because anybody who's watching this episode is more than likely not a panic buyer unless you're my mother, and in which case you panic about everything. Happy Mother's Day, Mom. Again, gotcha. And I think the worst part about it, outside of the ramifications where people are panic buying, causing another shortage, congratulations, you played yourself, is the comments that I've seen about this and the memes and everything like that. And honestly, the comments in real life that I've seen about this are astounding, in the sense that you have people out here that are literally taking a gas shortage and immediately applying politics to it, which, I mean, I get it, whatever. But to see some comments that say like, oh, if they could hack the Colonial Pipeline, they could hack a voting system, or this just further pushes the left's agenda to promote clean energy. And I'm just like, guys, do we really need to make everything about politics? Like, do you have nothing better to do in your life than to still be mad about an election, or to just like point fingers at the other side, where it's like, listen, I don't think gas gives a shit about what side you lean on. That's actually not true. Now that I say that out loud, big oil companies definitely lean towards the conservatives. But listen, liberal, conservative, moderate, Democrat, Republican, it's going to affect everybody. I just don't know why you got to use it to start complaining about somebody else's politics, where I'm like, literally, we ain't got no gas. So why am I going to listen to you complain about some other shit just because we don't have gas? Who knows? Maybe you'll get over it. Maybe you won't. Yeah, as if things weren't crazy enough, I see this story come across my timeline of a podcast and the super relatable, definitely in touch with the rest of society actress known as Gwyneth Paltrow. She had a podcast last week, or she was on a podcast last week, where she said that she went off the rails during quarantine, where she was drinking every night, and that she was at her lowest point when she ate bread. And I'm just confused. Like, are we talking about the same lady that named her daughter Apple? The same lady that like made a candle smell like her vagina? The one that gave another candle to Kim Kardashian titled or labeled Kim Kardashian's orgasm? Are we talking about that lady? That's her lowest point, is eating bread? Like, what? I'm gonna get worked up about this one, but like, what on earth? Like, what's your life like where all those other things can go by the wayside, and yet somehow your lowest point is that you ate bread? Meanwhile, half the country is out here making all types of bread during quarantine, because that's all we can really do, because we need something to occupy our time. Because if we're still crammed in our small living quarters with significant others, we're going to kill some people. But it's okay, Gwyneth. I hope you're okay. I hope you're recovering from all that gluten, because Lord knows, gluten will put you in a bad place. What am I doing wrong? That's what I want. What am I doing wrong in my entire life that my low point isn't eating bread? Just a thought. I don't know. Maybe it's definitely just me. But yeah, that one was good times. But with that, oh Lord have mercy, I just saw online that the Texas governor just pushed a bill that would allow Texans to vote for Texas to leave the U.S. and become its own country. I have no words. I have no words for that. We're not even going to touch that one. We're going to move right on to the introduction of a new segment. Sorry, I'm pulling up my notes. The new segment, I don't know the name of it yet, but it's going to be around relationship advice, because who's more qualified to talk to you about your relationships than me? a year veteran of the streets, a man who has had plenty of interesting relationships, and, if anything, a man who knows the inner workings of a typical male. So, ladies, guys, send in your scenarios, send in your situationships, send in your questions about what's going on or what you think may be going on, and I'll tell you what I think is going on because that's so helpful. But yeah, send them in for your relationship advice, and we could actually, this all comes from a friend, we'll call it a friend, that goes on to say, I'm practically throwing myself at this guy's DMs. He said numerous times we should hang out sometime, and he's mentioned once that he would totally hit on me if he saw me out. Yet he's never asked for my number. Has still not officially asked me out despite my obvious interest. Do guys just become so distracted with life that they don't even entertain a female? And to that I say, no, that's not. I don't know. Okay, so coming from a guy that used to be a shy person, a self-proclaimed shy person, if I'm already to the point, and obviously I'm not like that now, I'm not, but if I'm to the point where I'm telling a woman that we should hang out, or that if we were out in public I would hit on her, I'm interested in her, and if I'm not doing anything or pulling the trigger or shooting a shot or anything like that outside of me just saying that I would shoot my shot, part of that, it doesn't really sit well with me, in the sense that if a guy's that far interested in you, he's gonna ask you for your number, he's gonna ask you out, kind of thing. Like, I don't, and for some backstory on this, their conversations have always been in like his place of business, we'll call it that. And to me, it seems as though you kind of have one of two options going on, where this guy either is just saying that to be friendly in a weird way, or just flirty, and he's just flirty with all the people that shop at that place of business. But I can't imagine if I was into somebody and I kept telling her that like we should go out sometime, or like we should hang out sometime and all this stuff, but then never did anything. And now, but the other part of this is that what she thinks is her being interested may not come across as interested to the guy. Now, unless you're verbally saying like, yeah, we should hang out sometime, and then homeboy is just not reading it, not registering, that's definitely his fault. A part that you could play in this is that, who knows, potentially you're not, we'll put it this way. People are stupid when it comes to whether or not you're into them. Me included. I am completely oblivious to anybody being attracted to me until it's like point blank they're telling me like, hey, moron, I'm interested in you. And in which case, my bad. I'm sorry. Past trauma. That's what we're going to call it. But yeah, so outside of like you not being obvious to him, which I really think you have been obvious to him, I just don't know if the guy's all there or if he's really that interested, because I can't imagine somebody that would just sit there and say, we should go out, we should hang out, like I would hit on you, and then be like, oh yeah, have a nice day. Never follow up, never like try and find you on social media, never like ask you for your number. And really it just comes across as that like he's either super shy or just not interested to that point. And if that's the case, then he's just full of talk and you're wasting your time and you might as well move on. The only kind of real advice that I would give you is that like, hey, it's 2020, 2021. It's modern times. Like, I know you probably want someone to court you and ask you for your number and stuff like that. But I mean, yeah, at a certain point in time, if you are that interested in him, then I would say like, hey, ask him for his number, ask him out, pull the trigger. You be the aggressor in this situation and see what happens. If you don't want that, then fine, but then maybe you're not that interested. It kind of goes, to me, it goes both ways. If you're interested in someone, I don't know what you're doing waiting around for them to ask you out or for them to do something. But if that's what you want, then hey, just understand that that person's not giving it to you and move on. But yeah, eventually you got to call them out on it and be like, hey, are we actually going to hang out? Are you just saying this kind of thing? Or like, where's it going? Or you can just let it fizzle out and just not pay it any attention. But the fact that you're reaching out to me about it leads me to believe that you're not just going to let it fizzle out. So be that as it may, do what you want to do. But yeah, guys, don't forget to send in all of your relationship scenarios and situations, and we'll see what kind of crackhead theories and hypotheses and solutions your boy can come up with on our new segment of relationship advice. Working title. We'll get there. But with that, we'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll do the same thing that we do every week. The wrap up, the debate, which, I mean, we got to talk about those debates last week. Really one of them. You know exactly which one I'm talking about. And then we'll talk about the follows. But yeah, quick break. We'll come back, do the wrap up, do the thing.
P.O.P.
And we're back with, why do I act like I'm confused about what we're going to start with every time we come back? And we're back with the great debate. Last week, what did we do last week? Last week, we asked you better Mother's Day gift, or last episode, we asked you better Mother's Day gift, plants/flowers, or going out to eat. And 78% of you said going out to eat. And I get it. I really do. I feel like when you go out to eat, it's kind of one of those things that it's more of an experience. It's not just an object. It's not just something that may or may not die. Who knows if your mom is actually into gardening and stuff like that and how often you'll see said flowers. So I think going out to eat is definitely a time that a lot of us don't get to enjoy with our mothers. So I get it. Props to you guys. 78% going out to eat. Do the thing. Do whatever your mom likes, whatever makes her happy. On Mother's Day. I mean, all the time. As long as you have healthy relationships and boundaries, disclosure. The bonus one, and this is one I want to get into because I owe you guys an answer. Last episode, we gave you a bonus poll of, would you rather live without your elbows or your knees? Your elbows or your knees? Would you rather live without your elbows or your knees? And 59% of you said that you'd rather live without your elbows. And I think after about a week or so of thinking over this, I'd agree. I can't imagine a life where my legs are just locked the entire time. Straight leg, all day, every day. Just like simple functions like stairs, uneven terrain, sitting down, take my elbows. If I had to like have a choice in the matter, or not, I get to keep both, thank God. But if I had to choose, I would pick to live without elbows, just because honestly, like I said last week, I'm not really doing much with my elbows. Yes, like I use them when I'm working out and stuff like that, and when I gesture, that's cool, whatever. But I would lose my mind with straight legs the whole time. Like literally, I'm sitting in a chair right now, and I can't imagine like my legs would literally be touching the tripod. I'd be walking into shit. I would have to have the world's most flexible hamstrings if I wanted to bend over and pick shit up. So yeah, take my elbows if you had to. I'm going to keep the knees. This week, pretty simple, and I don't know why it's taken 39 episodes to get to this debate, but we run at our own pace. This week, cats or dogs? Not going to label it, not going to say which one's the better pet, but cats or dogs? I know a lot of you be like, oh, I have both. That's the whole point of this thing. Pick one. I'm going to go with dogs, honestly. Like, I do enjoy cats. I have a lot of... we're not finishing that sentence. I like cats. They're cool. But most of my family's been allergic to cats. I think I'm pretty, like, mildly allergic in the sense that I can hang out. I have no idea. My voice sounds super weird right now. It's like I have an accent. Moving on. I can hang out with cats. I just can't stay or live with them because literally if I spend a place that has cats overnight, I will, if I spend a place that has a cat living in there overnight, I got all the congestion, like puffy eyes, all this stuff. I can still breathe, thankfully, but like it is just like a like a sinus/nasal nightmare just from being around them for too long. Whereas dogs never had that issue. Now, personally, I also think that cats are slightly crazy in the sense that, like, yes, all animals with a snap can just like go crazy, but I feel like cats, they got way too many weapons. You got them claws, you're too flexible. Let's chill for a second. Calm down. I don't need all those weapons, especially for something that's like mentally unstable like a cat. But you know, if it's going to be mentally unstable, like either one of these two animals, I'd rather it be a dog, because I'm like, nah, you're not really going to get to me like that. Cat, Lord have mercy if that thing comes out alive. But yeah, you know where I stand. Let me know in the polls. Let me know in the comments, and we'll find out next week. And now we move on over to the Friday Follows. The first of the Friday Follows is CLT.Remedy. They're a sibling duo who've teamed up to bring you the best of Charlotte Eats, Charlotte Drinks, even Charlotte experiences all over the Queen City and the state and the country. So make sure you guys go follow them at CLT.Remedy on Instagram. Show them some love. And the second page. This one, I really feel like I've shouted them out before, and if I haven't, I'm so sorry. I owe you. Because this person is a very good friend of mine, Mr. Jourdain Fisher. You can find him at J Fisher Comedy on Instagram. Jourdain has he's been doing bits in the comedy game for a while now. Like, I've known him for like 11, 12 years, and he's been doing comedy since before then. Open mics, all that jazz. He's been on, to see his progression. The man's gone from open mics to being on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, working there as a writer as well. And now he's got his own comedy album that he recorded pre-pandemic. All right. But make sure you go follow him. Jourdain, love you, man. Keep it up. Keep doing the thing at J Fisher Comedy, and go check out his album Good For You, which can be found on iTunes, Spotify, Tidal. You could even probably bootleg it at this point, but yeah, make sure you go check him out. But with that, guys, that brings us to an end this week. So, gosh, there's going to be a lot of things. Let me see if I could remember the run through now. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff down below to the Problems on Problems podcast YouTube channel. Don't forget to follow us at Problems on Problems podcast on Instagram, at Problems_pod on Twitter. You can find me on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, all that jazz, and wherever else podcasts can be found. And like always, man, follow your boy at MikeSanty18 on all social media. And like I always say, guys, if it's not a good time, hope it's a good story. And I will see you next week.